Got a little box in the corner telling me.
Yes. So I'm calling this first episode of Smut and Porn. So, warning, you've guessed it, there's going to be language and adult subject matters. I'm Lucie. I'm from Quebec City in Canada, and this is Kris Ripper.
Hi. Is that my cue? I'm not going to be good at picking up on cues. I'm Kris. I'm from California, and I write pornography. That's my entire bio right there, Lucie.
And you write really, really good pornography. It's almost biography. Everyone wants a will now.
And a few people have written to say they want to be Hugh, so that's highly, highly flattering.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So, your main series is the scientific method?
That is true, yes. I write the scientific method. It's 7 books at this point, and The Honeymoon, which is the fake last book, is coming out in about 2 weeks.
Yes. And it's not fake. I've read it, and it's not fake.
Well, it's sort of supposed to be the last book, but it's not really, because I'll just keep writing them. But it's kind of it wraps up the series. Let's say that.
It wraps up the method.
Yes.
And what are you working on right now?
Oh, right now I am working on book 3 of the Home series, which is called Home Sweet Home. The first book of which is currently out, called Going Home, and soon will be available everywhere, but is not quite available everywhere yet.
And I remember at the beginning you were a bit reluctant to write this book, the first book.
Yeah, it was a funny experience writing Going Home, because I had externally imposed deadlines, which is unusual for me, and made me definitely reluctant. And then I had to wrangle characters into doing what they were supposed to do, as opposed to just putting it aside and then coming back to it when they decided what they were going to do in advance. So yeah, it was a little bit funny, but now I can't imagine not having this universe to write into. So that is the best outcome of all outcomes.
And it's good for us because it's a beautiful universe. Yes, it's pretty hot. So
we'll see. You'll get home free, I think, next week, so you can tell me if it's working out.
Okay. So I'm not a writer. I'm a reader of Smut and Porn, and I proofread. I do some editing of smut, a lot of editing of smut, and I leave reviews about I try pretty much everything that's out there, and I leave reviews, and I have fun. So,
and you're getting into anthologies too. Don't forget that.
Yes, that's a new thing. That's a new thing. Yeah. I get to edit an anthology for the Coming Together projects, which publishes anthologies for charity. So I'm helping on this too. And why is it we're here? Because we like smut and porn, erotica, so many names for the sexy stuff. Yeah. So you say you write porn. Why do you say you write porn? And not erotica or?
Because I'm stubborn, I think.
Okay.
I feel like porn gets a bad rap, and I'm not talking about visual porn that may or may not be exploiting human beings. I'm talking about the written word. So I think that when people talk about reading porn, it's like, oh yeah, it's a few hundred words and you get off and then you're done and you throw it aside. And I don't think that's what I write. But I find it very complimentary when someone's like, well, I might have enjoyed your stories a lot. So I like the word porn. I think that is not, I'm reclaiming it for people who enjoy long stories.
Because that's a debate. I've seen people, no, I don't write porn, I write erotica. And it's like porn.
It's a fussy word to me. I don't really understand why it is such a happy word to people, when to me it's kind of a fussy word. And it feels like, and people get very, very passionate about it. So I know that the classic difference is that erotica is a story that happens to have sex in it, and porn is just sex. Which I don't have a problem with, so I guess that's probably why I don't object to the word. But I think that it's possible to write wank material onto books that also have plots and call it porn instead of erotica.
Yeah, because I've read audiobooks that that are out there, and there's romance, there's emotions, there's sex, but it's not all there is. So yeah, it could be considered erotica, but I get it. Why you're trying to give a better name to porn.
Well, porn just sounds like more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what you're getting. You know that's what you're getting. It's clear. Erotica is so it's not clear. It could be some romance book try to pass as erotica. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, and I think that there used to be debates about what percentage of your book had to be explicit versus whatever else, and all of that stuff, I guess, bores me, because I think the way you know if you're reading an erotic book is by every bit of it. Like, I don't think you shouldn't be able to completely take out the sex scenes and then there's nothing erotic about the book. That's I don't know. That doesn't get me off, I guess. No. Essentially, as a reader.
I had a thought and I lost it. What is explicit for someone might not be for another. Like the books that warn there will be hard scenes. It will be hardcore, and then you read it and it's just.
You flip through again thinking you missed something. Wait a minute. Did I miss hardcore scene?
Where's the hardcore stuff?
Yeah. And likewise, I think that what is explicit for one story isn't even the same as, one set of characters might get very explicit, hardly taking their clothes off, and that you can still write that in a very sexy way.
Yeah. Yes.
And then some characters you just don't care. They take their clothes off and you skim because you don't give a shit.
Yep. So, what would you like to talk about now?
Yeah, well, I think we had a list, but now I'm not looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, we could talk about the difference between a serial and a novel that has been split up as serials, since you have recently had this experience and you're annoyed by it.
That's one of my pet peeves. Oh. I can be a real bitch with an author that takes sometimes a really good story And for marketing purposes, we split it in a series, in a serials, and not give us complete parts. Like if you want to know what happened next, read the next book. Yes, to be continued in the next book. And it ends in the middle of a scene, inexplicably. Um, to me, a series needs, each part still needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's like the basics of writing, I think, for me.
And
You
all
know?
formats of writing.
Huh?
All
Pardon?
formats of writing. You don't see a TV show that just
No.
cuts you off with no resolution. Every episode has to resolve on some level.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah. So I see that a lot, especially in erotica and romance. I don't know why. I don't see that as much in science fiction or horror. But in erotica books, I don't know who told them that was a good thing. And the readers wouldn't mind, but I do mind. I do mind a lot. Yeah.
And it'll keep you from buying the next book. It's not. It's a potential loss of it.
Oh no! Oh no! Like yesterday evening, I was reading a free book from All Romance. I go a lot on All Romance to discover new writers. I like that. That's where I discovered you, and I discovered Brad Vance and a lot of writers of porn and erotica writer. And when a writer does something like that, okay. So yesterday I read 131 pages. Okay, the story was really good. But it ended in the middle of a scene with the two characters in a bathroom.
Oh.
And then you have to be continued. No sample, no links, no nothing. The page ends there. To be continued. And a little picture, a little thumbnail of a book cover. That's all.
Oh, that's not even good marketing then.
No. But I see that so often. So often. At least leave a sample so I know what I'm getting. I buy a lot of ebooks when I can. I buy a lot, but I have to know what I'm getting before I buy them. It's my money, okay? We work for our money. I want to know what I'm buying. So when I discovered you, about every of your books, one shot, everything, the books that were out at the time, about everything. When I discovered Brad Vance, like last month, I bought everything. Yeah.
And you told me. I mean, that's
Yes.
That's another part of it. From a writer's perspective is, I mean, obviously you should respect your reader's time, you should respect your reader's money, you should not trick them into trying to get them to buy the next book. But you also need to realize that it's not just one reader that you might be offending. It could be that reader plus all of their network who they are going to badmouth you to and say, don't ever read this person.
Yes.
Or from a business perspective, it's just
because you do it right. Brad Vance do it right. Nathan Lowell do it right. He has 6 books, but each book is separate, is a standalone. It's possible to do it like, so as to not offend your readers.
Which should be a goal. That should be pretty high priority. Don't offend your readers. Don't piss anybody off.
Yes.
In a good way.
Yes. Continue. Somebody invited me to this. Okay. Go figure. Google. So yeah, yeah, and I review pretty much. I know you don't. Bad.
I'm trying. I'm getting better.
Yes, yes. I try to review pretty much everything I read when I have something to say. Sometimes it just meh. Meh. Okay, I'm better not say anything. If it's really bad, I'll talk, and if it's really good, I'll talk. If it's just meh, yeah, I'll give a rating, but or sometimes this could have been better. But I read a lot. That's a lot of reviews. Yeah.
You do. I mean, I think that, and you are the type of reader that I think a lot of people write for. Like, really, you're really engaged, and you will not just spend the time to read, but you will go back and you will review. And I think that's amazing. That's a huge gift.
And with you, I went a step further. I contacted you. Something I don't do very often. Yes, and I'm so glad I did.
And here we are.
Yes. Yes. We exchange emails, but that's the first time we see face to face. Yes. And that's the first time Kris has to hear my accent.
I'm having no problem understanding. I don't know. I don't have any problem understanding you, and I don't hear very well, so I think that's...
Okay. That's good. Which is French, by the way. Yeah, and not even good French. It's French Canadian. It's like the poor child of French.
It's not even good French.
I know.
It's bad French.
No, people in France don't understand us.
Oh no.
They don't. Yep. So that's it. But I read a lot in English because that's where the good stuff is. Sad to say.
You gotta change that, Lucie.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'd like to publish an anthology in French. Maybe not write it. I don't. Maybe. I have projects. I want to do anthologies. Like we said, I like to read. I like to discover new writers, and I'd like to share that. I'd like to share that with people. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely, and you would do such a service to writers who are kind of obscure, because you have a good eye for people who can write good stories. Definitely, if you send me a link to something, I read it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I know it's probably going to be a good story.
Thank you. But we have quite similar tastes.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, I like my porn on the hardcore side. Yes, yes.
And not the hardcore side either.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Not the hardcore only for marketing purposes side, but it has to actually deliver.
No, yeah, I like the screams. Yeah, I yeah, I know. Bad marketing to me is like people trying too much to follow the trends and not delivering. To me, that's really bad politics.
It's a good way to alienate people who really, really enjoy the trend you're trying to follow,
Mm-hmm.
because they're expecting it to be something that, was written because it was pouring forth from an author's creative mind, instead of just, oh, I studied some of these paranormal books and now I'm going to write one. That's
Yes.
the wrong way to do it.
Yes. And do you think what we see, like the the gay erotica, the gay porn, we see a lot these days? I think I've never seen that much. Do you think it's a trend some writers are trying to abuse?
Maybe. I think it might actually, for gay porn and gay romance specifically, might actually be more that there are writers who were readers and read a lot of the genre and then are just kind of trying it on for size. And because it's so easy to publish, they're also publishing kind of their early sort of maybe amateur-ish works. I think that might be more common. I don't think there's really anyone, at least in self-publishing, who's going, gay porn, that's where the money is. Like, I don't think that's exactly.
Uh,
50 Shades of Grey is where the money is. I don't know if it's necessarily. I don't know that anyone's thinking the gays are really where the money is.
I'm not sure about that because I've read stories and one memorable memorable story which was written for a straight couple, but the writer changed one of the partners for a man, but didn't change the mechanics.
Oh my God, no!
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and the readers were incensed.
As well, they should be.
Yes. Uh,
Okay, well, that's the wrong way to do it. If you're writing gay porn that started out as straight porn and you just changed a couple of pronouns, that is the wrong way to do it.
and forget to change all the pronouns and forget to change all the tools.
Oh, I'm embarrassed on behalf of all humans.
Not your fault. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I see
no.
a lot of things, the bad things. I see a lot of good and a lot of bad things.
Well, I don't know. I only know that when I hang out online with writers, nobody's like going, oh yeah, no, the gay porn market is huge. But I think that people are completely biased based on A, where they are online, and B, what they read.
Hmm.
If you read a lot of something, you may think that's where everyone is. Alternatively, if you don't read something, you might get the overinflated notion that that thing that you're not doing is the one thing that makes money. I see that a lot.
I see, yes.
Well, if only I wrote erotica, romance, sci-fi, whatever the hell it is that you're not writing. That's where I'd make money, but I just don't write that. I think that
Oh,
there's a sort of whiny aspect to trying to chase trends, not with all people, but with some people. That's kind of the
it's
grass is always.
interesting. Interesting. Yes, yes. I like that. Yeah, I did. No, I would have to think about that. Yes, but I I really figured that gay erotica, gay porn, whatever, gay smut, uh, MM,
Yeah, I think
MM.
someone can tell us if we're wrong. I think it's MM.
Uh, I think it gets the same attraction as vampire and werewolves now uh, used to get. We still see paranormal stories a lot, but I think some writers really think the money is there. I don't know why. Uh, and why is it that most of the readers of gay erotica are women?
Well, I think the classic answer is the whole men are more visually focused thing, but I have male fans, and I know men who read porn, so I think that also, and they're often straight women. There are some queer women, certainly, but they're often straight women, and maybe those are the people who have huge budgets for books. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I joined a community on Google Plus. The is it gay erotica community? And a lot of people there are women. It's,
And there's one on Facebook. There's a gay romance community on Facebook where someone recently started a shitstorm by saying, like, what are all these women doing here? Wow.
Have you seen on the Goodreads romance? Have you seen male writers? I have not seen male writers there yet.
There are a few. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I think that I think the way that if you have female parts and you're reading fiction about females with female parts, and it doesn't jive with your experience, you're going to put that book down. And I think that reading books that don't contain any of the parts that you have direct experience of maybe makes it a little more escapist. So I don't know, but I have heard people kind of mention that's it's almost easier to read it, and it's not a barrier. So
because that now it's almost the only erotica I read. So I should have the answer. I don't.
You tell me, Lucy. Well, I mean, I also think it's also safer for those of us who are not homophobic and are not, racist. And although there's a lot of classist stuff I see in the gay romance and gay erotica, but I think it's safer to pick up a queer book because you know that there's not going to be a bunch of homophobic undertone to it. So I'm not always assured of that when I pick up books about straight people, so it's just one more little thing that I have to worry about.
But also we're queer.
Yeah, true. So we kind of I don't know if we count necessarily.
Yeah, so that's why I make a difference between female writers, male writers, and queers.
And the rest of us.
Yeah, the rest of us. It's another category for me. Because often I find that straight people will be entrenched in the straight community, and gay people will be very entrenched too in their gay culture, and queers are all over the place.
And those of us who feel excluded from both of those places are just like floating around. So, and we're always, I mean, certainly I think that I am always looking for books that reflect a sense of exclusion, because that's how I feel. Like, I don't really get off on a gay romance novel where both people are like, happy gay people who came up gay and everybody accepted them and now they live in gay community. Like, that doesn't really resonate with me any more than the same book about straight people would, because that's not my experience of the world. You gotta have stripe, man.
It's not mine either. It's not mine either. What's the word? I project female. What's the word? I'm female. I don't remember the word. But in my head, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and some of us, I think, I think there are people who are very, very entrenched in their physical experience, and then there are people who, you and I could read probably about almost anything and find a place in our head where that would work if it's well written.
Yes. I like what you said about the physical appearance. I'm 6'2", so for a woman, that kind of broke the mold. I could not wear women's clothes and things like that and be fancy girly. I could not. So that helped shape my head.
So
Yeah.
the classic romance trope where the hero lifts the beautiful, demure lady off her feet and carries her to... That's not really working for you, huh?
Makes me want to puke. Yeah, makes me want to puke. Yeah, when I was a teen, that just enraged me. Why can't there be a tall woman for once, you know?
Well, and that is, to me, the beauty of the current digital publishing boom, that
Yes.
we can write things that would have never been published by Harlequin, and
Yes.
do it ourselves and find the books that we needed to read as teenagers, and they didn't
Yes.
exist because no one would publish
Yes.
them. So that's a
Yes.
beautiful, beautiful thing.
So you've been writing pretty much all your life, but you've been publishing for what? Is it a year? Not
No,
even?
I think it's like 6 or 7 months.
And you have what? 8 books out there now?
Yeah,
9?
yeah, about to be 8 or 9, depending. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I write fast. Also, I was desperately suicidal when I was a kid, and that's what I did. Other kids were out, talking to humans and learning how to date, and I was not doing those things. I was writing
Wow.
stories. So I'm very fast.
You're giving Nathan Lowell a run for his money because Nathan Lowell is a really fast writer, and he published like 6 books in a year, and I think you beat him.
Well, no, but I'm not. I think I've published 3 novels, and then the rest were novellas. So it's a little bit
Okay.
different, but I do have, I guess, 2 more novels coming out. No, I published 4, so I have 2 more after that.
The year is not the year is not done yet.
That's true. Publication schedule is set. Now I just need covers.
Yeah, what's happening with the covers? I've not heard back. Are you still using a designer, or are you making your own?
No, I'm trying to use a designer, so I'm working on the communication paths there.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I bet you like that.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. But I really, I do want to outsource the cover making process because I dread it. With every book, that was like, it just takes so long, and I don't like looking at the pictures at all. So, so I need to outsource that now that I have a tiny little bit of money coming in. So
Yes.
we'll see how it works out. But when you have 7 or 8 books, it's a little like, it becomes very expensive to say, hey, can you do 7 or 8 covers? So
But your covers are not bad. You know how much I like the site Lazy Book covers. None of your covers merit to be there. It's just I'd like to see a little bit of branding, and I think your designer got that, a little bit of branding, so you can be not look the same exactly, and not totally different either from the genre.
yeah, that's yes, that is way beyond my skills with the GIMP software program.
Yeah.
People talk about it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really know what a filter is, but
Mm-hmm.
but then I guess in another sense, I'm kind of the big rule in self-publishing is whatever you do, get an editor and don't do your own covers. And I did my own covers, and people do not complain about them.
No.
So,
No, They're good. They're really good. They just need a little Ripper.
Need a little something.
Just a little branding. Just a little ding. Yes, because that's like we see that format. The way you do your cover, it's pretty. It's used a lot. It's not bad. It's not bad. It could be a lot worse, but because I see worse, it's not bad. It's not bad. It just needs to be a little different. A little something to differentiate.
A little spice.
Those big words are tough for me. Yeah. So, are we calling that our first episode?
I think we should.
Yes. So, I'm going to sign off this one. Don't go away. And people will see you next time. And maybe eventually with guests.
Yes,
I'd like to see guests. And I have a couple of friends, maybe, that would like to join us. That would be fun. So
that would definitely be fun. We should do that, yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Kris.
Oh, thanks. Lucie is the technical coordinator. I just kind of waited for an invite and showed up. So.
Yeah. So, thank you very much.